All right, so I am super excited today to have Aaron Hoffman here from Deliver That, one of the founders and someone I've known for a while in and out of the industry. So this is now episode 4 for this podcast, and as all the viewers know, we are basically just having candid conversations with business owners and entrepreneurs in the delivery and logistics space, trying to understand more about how they think about and how they develop their business, how they think about running their business, and trying to give insights into others on the entrepreneurial journey and how much fun it is, and also how difficult it is to start a business and keep it going. Aaron, thanks for coming on. And I'd love, if you want to just say a little bit about yourself, what you've done before. Love to hear a little bit about like your personal life too. I'm not even too sure how big a family you have, if you have a family, all that good stuff, but would love to hear about that because I also know that that's a supporting element in this whole journey.
Yeah, thank you for having me on, Robert. I really appreciate it. I love doing these episodes, especially someone that I've known, like you said, a very long time. I think I first met you when I was in college. I started this company with my best friend when I was 19. I think we met when I was 21. You were at a company at the time.
Wow.
I don't know if you want to say what company I was or not. You're more welcome to.
Yeah, I mean, I was at HappyFleet at the time. So, and it was my first startup too. So very interesting to meet the people and then also see what business is built out of.
It's crazy because that was over 10 years ago. And you're probably one of the very few people I talk to today that saw, at least interacted with me when I was in college until right now. Started this business out of my dorm room when I was 19 as a college delivery service. We used HappyFleet. About a year into it to actually be able to run a fleet of drivers and make sense of delivery and actually manage delivery. So we started it with the intention of just, again, making money to pay for school. Never thought it would actually ever materialize into something like this. I was going to school to be a doctor. That's what I wanted to do. So, the other founder is my best friend. We went to elementary school together. Like known him for a very long time. So started as a college delivery service, pivoted it in 2017 to be more of, hey, let's provide drivers, professional quality drivers to restaurants that want to do their own delivery. Specifically, it was catering delivery. And then pivoted it once again after, post COVID to be more of a tech enabled solutions, delivery management solutions business, to where we're actually not only a DSP, but we provide software to actually manage deliveries of all kinds, whether it's catering, grocery, mealtime. We give operators one single pane of glass to monitor everything. We have technology like orchestration. We have a self-delivery driver app that tech companies leverage. One of the partners we work with is Monkey Media. Like if you're a restaurant and you use their driver technology, that's us. And yeah, it's been a heck of a ride, man. On the personal side, I got married when I was 22, September 2nd, 22. I don't remember how old I was, maybe 27 or 28. I have a 2.5-year-old son. We live in Canton, Ohio. It's awesome. I'm from here. I actually built a home. I lived in Cleveland for about 5 years. My wife works at University Hospitals. I'm in Cleveland. And we lived up there for a little bit. We figured out we were having a family. I'm from where I live now and loved growing up here, had a great childhood, great schools, great community. So moved back here, built a home. Yeah, I'm a very, I love to golf. Love being outside. I hike a lot. And I'm very passionate, as well, around what we're building here at Deliver That.
That's awesome. Well, I love to hear about your personal life, Aaron. Like, and having a 2-year-old son.
Yeah, it's best job in the world.
I myself, yeah, no doubt. And I have a 19-year-old and a 13-year-old. So a little bit moving out of this of the soon be an empty nester. So I'm actually, it's one of the reasons I started HappyFleet was I wanted something to do once my child left, and also wanted to be nomadic and have more control. So I think that was one of the big elements for me. I do wonder, Aaron. So what were your parents' thoughts I mean, if you're going to be a doctor and then all of a sudden you start this entrepreneurial journey, I mean, that must have been a
Yeah,
pretty
so
big
I
shock for
actually,
you.
I leave a lot of the story, this backstory out. I actually wanted to be a professional baseball player. I played baseball for year in school.
Ah,
Didn't really ever play, but when I decided to actually, I quit. Um, lost my scholarship. Ended up, hanging up the cleats. Quit. Transfer.
oh, so
Yeah.
you got a
Mhm.
scholarship to school to college, and then when all of the business started
No, this is
happening,
before.
you hung
This
up the
is my
cleats.
freshman. So I actually started when I was a junior. My
Okay,
freshman year, I went to a small school in Southern Ohio and played baseball. Never ended up playing. Quit. Lost my scholarship. Didn't. Just wasn't.
yeah,
It wasn't cut out for me.
wow,
Looking back on it, um, but I wanted to be a doctor. This is going to sound terrible. So I want to make a ton of money. This is one profession. Every doctor I knew made a ton of money, and they were cool, and they had awesome schedules, and they got the golf during the week, and um, that's what, yeah, it's like
big
that's what I wanted to
golfer,
do, and
big
it's like
golfer
wasn't.
career.
This sounds so terrible. It wasn't because I wanted to really help people. It was because I wanted to make a ton of money, and
Right.
that's but growing up I was always the kid that would like go shovel driveways when it snowed, and I mowed grass when I was young. Like I had like there's a business card my older brother and I made. We were like 10 years old. Like we'd go around, and in the same neighborhood I live in right now actually. um so yeah, so I've always
Wow.
been like a little hustler, and always, my both my parents supported me when I wanted to be an entrepreneur. My dad, he owned a business. He owned businesses. My mom, I feel like I got my street smarts from her. She always, made me work for what I had, and it was great.
Wow. Yeah, I so similar kind of background. My parents owned a card and gift store growing up on Main Street in the town I grew up in, and so I opened a comic book store above theirs. Then I switched into a paintball store as my interest changed. So, yeah, like always trying to hustle. And yeah, it's interesting the entrepreneurship. Like you probably saw it from your father. I saw it from my grandfather, my father. So I think it's just in the blood sometimes. But it's funny because my parents wanted me to be a doctor too. I mean, I thought I saw the prestige of it, and also it was that idea of the money making aspect of it. I was very interested in the medicine side, but then I started to take biology in college and realized
Yeah,
I just hated memorization, and that was kind of like,
yeah. I think when I was in pre med, I was a 4.0 student. When I went to business, I was like 2.2 student. Like I just didn't
wow,
care. Um, I just, I'd go to class. I try to learn about bit. At the time, like I've got a functional business that's making money in college. I'm 20 years old, and I remember going to one of my entrepreneurship classes, 300 classes, and the professor was like, "You would know more about business than I would." I've never run one before, and I was like, "I can't take this serious anymore." So school, it's like if you're gonna go be a doctor or a lawyer, like definitely take it. I'm not saying don't take school seriously, but like if you're in a business, like if you're a business person, school might not necessarily be the route you need to take or have to be like the 4.0
right,
student, right? I sure as heck wasn't. I think like I said, I graduated with like a 2.2 GPA. Um, so
I hear you, yeah. So and
no,
that was
that's
high school you
college. No,
graduated
high
from
school,
college. Oh,
yeah, almost a
oh,
4.0 student.
okay, awesome. I was actually never really a good student, so
Yeah, it's like
that makes
it's like if you
sense.
know me, you know that I'm very like I read a ton. Like I'm very interested in like science and
Hmm.
space and even like history. But things I do not care about, I will not pay. I just don't pay attention. I can't force myself to learn something I don't care about.
Right. Just to kind of go off on a tangent here, were you following the
Oh yeah,
Artemis
oh
journeys?
yeah. I'm a huge space guy. Like I
Yeah.
listen, like the best podcast I listen to is American Alchemy or American Alchemist, one of the two. Jesse Michaels, the guy's great.
Yeah. Wow. And what do you think about your child becoming like an
I think it'd
astronaut?
be cool. He's got a little.
Yeah.
He actually likes like we'll watch space videos at night when we're laying down, and he actually has like one of those projectors in his room where he can see all the stars, and he loves it. Like
I love it.
so
Yeah.
obviously as a parent, like you'd be like, what if something happens? Obviously, but I don't know.
Yeah. Right.
I think it'd be pretty cool.
Yeah. No, and it's funny because my 13-year-old wants to be in the MLB. And then I was like, well, you can only do it for so long. And then all the Artemis journeys or missions are happening. And I'm like, all right, I figured out the next step after the LLB. Go to
So
become an
hit balls out of the
astronaut.
park
So,
and go out of
yeah.
go out of it's
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Well, no, I love it. And so, what was your first reaction when you realized you were responsible for like people, vehicles, and routes every single day? I mean, I can't imagine at a young age trying to almost split your focus as you're trying to do school, as you're trying to be responsible. And how did you, in considering your co-founder is a high school friend, like did that ever put pressure on you as for your relationship? And I guess how did you
yeah.
overcome that
I'd
kind
say
of
it
moment
really
as a
hit
result?
me that we were responsible for people being on the road when like I was in my dorm room and I've got people, I'm talking 5, 6, 7 people, shuffling in and out of my room, bringing me like envelopes of cash because it's like we didn't accept
Wow.
credit cards at the time, and it's like it was kind of a cool feeling, but it's like it probably looked like I was a drug dealer as well. Um, this is fucking white envelopes with cash, but that's kind of like the first. I've been 20 years old, or maybe even 19 at the time, and then no, like I think John and I, we've got a very good understanding that there's business and there's friendship, and we've always done a really good job of splitting both. And I think the only reason why it never got to like a boiling point with me and him is like we never actually lived together. Um, it never happened. Like he had his own roommates, I had my own, and like we got to separate the two. And but I mean, we talk about what we were. I mean, it wasn't. It's like we had to intertwine everything in the like in our day to day lives with the business. I'm going to class at 2 o'clock. Well, who's scheduled to deliver? I'm dispatching when I'm in class. It's like I'm going to the bars to have a drink,
Wow.
in the evening, hang out with my fraternity brothers, and it's like, nope, I'm dispatching in the bar. Or hey, you got to stop doing this on a Saturday morning. You got to go take
Wow.
delivery. Someone called off. So it was constantly like that.
And how did you
I
come up with
was
the idea, Aaron? How'd you guys like what was the
walking
genesis
to the
of it?
dining hall like the first cold day of the year, and we were getting somebody food. It was like I would pay someone to do this. Left the left the It was that
Wow.
easy.
That's
Left the dining
simple.
hall, went to our library, made a Twitter account. 3 days later, we went viral on campus, and we had like 5,000 followers.
Wow. That must be
It was
amazing,
cool.
man. That's awesome. But I feel like Aaron, there were times where I spoke to you at conferences, and maybe I'm incorrect in this, but I felt like there was more of a pessimistic attitude, like where maybe things weren't going that well, or maybe it was just growing pains. But do you remember any of those moments?
Oh yeah, I mean that's like the life of being an entrepreneur. I feel like it's like you're constantly riding this roller coaster, these highs and these lows. And I'm the kind of person that like I don't care if I'm the biggest, best delivery product out there. Like I'm always going to try to find ways to get better. So I would, growing up, it'd be easy to kind of get down on yourself. It's like, hey, you didn't sell this deal, or, you did something wrong, right? It's easy to wear those losses, maybe publicly at times. As far as growing up, I mean, I'm only 32, and I've been doing this since I've never really had a real mentor that's done something like this that I know personally. I've tried to find someone like that, and when I know they started a business out of their dorm room, I don't know. I'm the only one. So it's hard to relate with other people and other
Yeah.
founders. Like we're not venture back. Like we're not, not heavily funded. Like we've been bootstrapped for 12 years. Um, no, it's always been
Wow.
you know, very blessed and privileged to like be here today. But yeah,
Yeah.
no,
So you never took funding.
never
Wow.
needed to.
That's
Did it?
amazing.
Like I was like probably like the
I mean,
worst
that's
fundraiser you probably ever talked to. Like I'd ask for some, call it $2 million, and I get, so how are you going to use it? And just would have no clue. Just
got it. So you were just yes. So you just incrementally just as revenue came
Yeah,
in,
now this would have been,
continue to expand,
we've been the business has been doing so well the last, I don't know, 5 years, 6 years that we've been very profitable during that time. We've profitably grown. I mean, this year top line 25, 30 million. Um, and that's
Wow.
software services, uh, be a nice EBITDA
Amazing.
on that. And yeah, we run this business with a certain philosophy, and that's not to operate like you have an unwritten, like a blank check. You know.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I've come from startup culture and I have seen it. Like it's pretty incredible when founders just feel like there's a pool of money and that money can be used for whatever. And I was lucky because OnFleet was a very responsible company, but then as I transitioned to others, some of them were just not as well run. Um, so Aaron, what was at what point did you decide to switch to a software company? And what was that
Yeah,
like?
great question. This would have been post COVID, and maybe like 21 ish. It started to really hit me that like there's nothing on the market that we're using from a technology standpoint that's solving this catering delivery problem. Truly, nothing was. You'd have companies like On Fleet that were, I call them generalists. It's like it would fit 80%, 90% into a market, and like it could be cannabis, alcohol, grocery, parcel package, like floral,
Right.
but nothing was really focused on, I'm going to call it food delivery or large order like food delivery. And I had taken thousands of these orders, and again, like from an operational standpoint, nothing was on the market. So it's like, well, if we're gonna try and survive and grow, like we have to build sort of, I'm gonna call it like the delivery operating system, uh, to where we can
Hmm.
operate our business the way we want to and not be like handheld to like some certain platforms features. And so yeah, I November of 21 privately stepped down as CEO. Publicly, this would have been April of 22. And I spent 6 months of my time learning to develop software. Every morning I'd wake up,
Wow.
sometimes would smoke a joint, sometimes wouldn't. And I would watch software development videos legitimately for 4 or 5 hours and then go practice and go. I wrote our first application. I did. And because
Oh, so
I,
you learned
I
actually
had
coding.
to make sure that if I'm going to hire a CTO and a development team, that like I
Yeah.
could talk the talk and explain to them what I wanted them to build. And you know,
Wow.
so I did it and convinced a very probably one of the smartest people I've ever talked to in my life. He's our current CTO, Matt Benzel. Like convinced him I had this big vision, this big picture in my head. Like here's what I want to build, and he built it. We've got like a 15-person team now, and engineers are cooking. Like we're building some really cool enterprise grade delivery management products, and it's awesome. Like I actually love developing software.
And how has that changed since the introduction of AI?
Everything. I mean, I was never formally educated. I never was an engineer. I mean, I did dabble and build some stuff, but what I have learned with software development life cycles, probably the past few years, is that it's like building a house. Like there's a process to all of it, and then when you get AI injected in every single part of that process, and it continuously improves that process, and then now it's like it's doing half the process for us. So it's writing the code, it's doing the tests,
Right.
it's helping write the requirements. So it's completely changing how companies develop. I think our CTO talks about this pretty publicly on LinkedIn, but like I think every big company and maybe every software company in the world is trying to solve this problem right now of how to get AI to increase their throughput and from idea to shipment. Like
Right.
how can you go faster? AI is going to be the number one reason why.
Yeah. No, it's been pretty incredible for us as well. I mean, just the speed and the reduction in the usage of more like junior engineers, I would say. I mean, it's basically replaced a lot of those roles. Um, and I also consult for a 30-year-old company, and it's been interesting to see how quickly AI can bring an older company up to a modern place. So I think that's one of the big ones. It's like you see these antiquated or dinosaur companies that, and one of the great things is they have a lot of data, they have a lot of experience, and now they can utilize that almost as the advantage, to try to make something better in the
It's like,
current period.
yeah, you got to get these companies to buy in.
So
They gotta. This is like the
yeah,
internet on steroids. I mean, I don't really. I was too young to really remember the
right.
internet really taking off, but I imagine it's very similar to how this feels right now. It's like every day there's like some new revolutionary thing coming out, and I
Yeah.
would say if not right now, if not in the near future, like these models will develop software and write code better than like any engineer on the face of the earth. Like
Mhm.
not even close.
How do you feel about, and do you have like, from your perspective, right? You manage drivers within vehicles. Do you see a future with the age of robotics
Absolutely.
disrupting your
No
business?
question. No question. We're seeing it right now. Like there's different delivery use cases that people get drone delivery. They get autonomous vehicles like a Waymo. I mean, maybe not food necessarily. You've got these, DoorDash. These other companies are investing in these little bots to drive around.
Yeah, you see
Yeah.
these more in
So
LA
I think
everywhere.
it's a
Yeah.
natural next step. Now, where we see this really taking shape is like we need to be able to power that type of delivery, like deliver that does, because
Right.
if you talk about giving a brand the opportunity to control their guest experience through delivery, some of these deliveries that they offer, it might be better off if they get taken by a drone or a robotic delivery method, right? Like maybe it's going to a spot where that's easier, it's quicker to get access to. But like, I still find it hard to believe that, a food order that's $1,000 going to the 50th floor in the Key Bank building in Cleveland is going to be done by a robot in the near future, if not ever. I don't know, but we're planning for this stuff now.
Yeah. Got it. So let's go to the human side. So for you, what does a great driver look like in your business?
Yeah, I mean, so a great driver. Uh, this is going to be like a hot take. All right, a really big hot take here for you. I'm not. I'm convinced. I mean, I'm not because I know that our fleet of drivers. It's the same pool of people that are drive for DoorDash, drive for Uber, that work other gigs. It's the same people. It's a gig economy. What makes a good driver
Right.
shine when it comes to a quality standpoint is the tools and technology that they're given to run their business. So if you again, this is why we built technology, was because for the specific market we were servicing, which was catering delivery, there was no tools or no software dedicated for that delivery use case. We knew what it needed. We knew what needed to happen, so we built it. So I'm just going to say that just to begin. But professional, right? You got to look the part. Like they got, if you're taking a professional delivery, you don't want to show up in a t-shirt and flip flops. Wear khakis, a buttoned up shirt. If you want to act like a professional, it's like your book of business essentially. Clean, you have a clean vehicle, clean driving record. These are, I would say, like table stakes for anyone trying to really make money in the gig economy.
And what did it look like for you trying to expand? Like, so I imagine, right, you were in Ohio. You know that market. As you started to move into other states, how did you maintain control over quality, make sure that everything was happening the way you wanted it to, especially in those beginning days? Like I imagine you're just taking like a leap of faith at that point to see if you can
Yeah, like
create
this
that
again
expansion.
goes back to software. I'm going to say pre-software, pre us building software, it was a very time consuming and capital intensive process to go stand up a market. I'll just give you an example. Like me and the other founder went to Phoenix, Arizona for like 6 weeks, met with drivers, passed out equipment, did ride-alongs, met with restaurant operators, did deliveries, hundreds of them, and it's like rinse and repeat. And then when you leave, You have a few, we called them lead drivers, where they were like sort of like the ambassadors in the market. Post Post COVID, or when we started building software, we could recruit drivers, equip them, qualify them, and get them on the road in 3 to 5 days. And we didn't need to send a person to go launch a market. You weren't doing ride-alongs anymore because COVID kind of just completely axed that. No random stranger is going to get in another car with some other person or even be around them when you have to wear masks every day. You have to be so yeah, we were able to. So when COVID hit, it actually really benefited our business because we were able to rapidly grow. We got expanded everywhere. Like,
Yeah, I
yeah,
just can't. The
it's crazy. And we were
acceleration has
doing
been steep.
corporate catering delivery, and no one was working. So it's like the volume wasn't necessarily there at the time. We expanded all the small DSPs. They went out of business, and it's like we were able to expand like crazy.
Right. And why do you think that was versus the small? I mean, and especially if you were doing office catering delivery and everybody knows now out of the office, what was the change that you made to help, I guess, grab onto the
Again, comes
growth?
back to software. It's if you're talking about
Okay.
I'll give you an example. Hang out with your buddies, and you guys want to get a pizza. And it's like, oh, well, someone can just go run out and grab the pizza. It's like you don't need all the sophisticated technology. That's like what a small DSP at the time was operating within. To where like if you had the technology, the tools to scale that everywhere without you having to physically go and be on site, like that's what we were doing. So we completely reinvented how we onboarded drivers, launched markets. We had to go there, to stay there. We could do them all at once. You just had to put up job listings essentially for drivers.
Wow. Was there any significant spot where hiring kept breaking down until you like figured it
I
out?
mean, with our delivery, with I'd say at the time the niche was you had all of these deliveries all at the same time period. Catering is a very cyclical business. It's weekdays during 10 to 1 is when the majority of the volume. It's not like you have lunchtime, breakfast time, and dinner time. It's not how it works. So like it's like the staffing side for that was always difficult. You always needed a certain number of drivers to support a certain number of deliveries. And then when
And you're giving them
yeah, it's
only
like
limited hours
it is
too.
the true
Yeah.
contractor arrangement where it's like they're just picking and choosing the deliveries they want. So it's like we're not giving it to them. It's like
Hmm.
they're picking it. So it's like you always have to have a nice supply of drivers to correctly take and match the number
Right.
of deliveries you get. So it was hard to add new business confidently before we had software to like orchestrate delivery. Now it's like I think we actually set like literally yesterday was the most amount of deliveries we've ever created on our platform on a daily basis ever. It's like yes. So
Wow.
thank you.
Well, congratulations.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. Um, where for you, I mean, we've talked about a lot about technology. So where does technology, well, I understand where technology helps. Where have you found it just create noise for you and just be more of a distraction?
Man, it really hasn't. I don't know if it's ever created a distraction for me. Um, for our business, I'll put it this way. When you come, I'm from the Midwest. It's a lot of this hard work, you know, gritty people out here. All right, not knocking us. It's like we're not Silicon Valley. All right, we're not the 2.2 GPA graduated with. All right, I'm not the. So it's like I'm not the smartest guy, but I can work really hard. So when you're trying to convince people to change their paradigm around how to work, it's like, hey, instead of looking at that map today, why don't you make phone calls to drivers? Or like it's like the adoption of the technology internally with our company, it's like no one believed it was possible. We could, hey, you don't have to sit here and route deliveries anymore. We have software that does that. Well, what do you mean I can't route deliveries anymore? It's what I do. It's my job. It's like, no, well, it's not your job anymore because we have software that does it. That was probably, I would say, like one of the biggest pain points from my perspective. It's like getting people to adopt internally,
Got it.
like change their thing. Yeah,
To make that switch. Yeah. But you got it. And now everything
yeah,
kind of runs
yeah. I did
itself, which is amazing.
I did an all hands meeting today, And we used to have, again, humans literally sitting there routing deliveries. And it's like today I was able to deliver a message. Like we still had, I don't know, about 5% of the deliveries that get routed still because they're edge cases. Like this last quarter was the first time we've ever launched something where it's like there is 0 humans doing any sort of routing of deliveries today, like in our plan. 0.
Wow. And are you, excuse me, are you free to talk about that technology? Is it AI
No,
driven or is it, how are you driving, how are you
we
creating
created
the
an we
automatic
created an
routing?
algorithm that was able to do it. But no, I mean it should be a machine. It'll turn into a machine learning problem to solve. It could be optimized better,
Right.
but no, it's an algorithm that we developed that knows, hey, these deliveries can't go together.
Ah, all right. Um, I always love this question, especially for someone who has gone as far as you have in the entrepreneurial journey. So, like somebody who has built the business from the beginning, and then, I mean, now if you're at 30 million revenue, that's like insane. So, when did you feel like this became a business instead of just surviving day to day, or do you still feel like you're surviving day to day?
Yeah, I don't know if it's like surviving day to day. It's at here. I'll give you when it like the evolution of my thought process around this business. It went from a time where I was paying myself $100 a week for like 7 or 8 years to getting paid. And I always thought I wanted
Yeah.
to, I guess it goes back to when I was in college. I wanted to be a doctor, I wanted to make a lot of money. I made a lot of money um, doing this business, and it never really brought me happiness. Like, I was the most unhappy in my life when I was making the most amount of money. And I shifted my focus towards like, well, if it's like, I'm not happy with money because I always thought it would like I thought money would give you freedom, and it has done that, but I didn't get that sense of fulfillment or like what I did actually mattered besides just getting paid. And then I realized like what I really am trying to go after here is trying to be someone that's like changes the world. Like I really want to create something novel that like makes an impact in humanity in some capacity, positively, of course. And like I want to be known for that. I want the legacy of like, hey, I'm not saying like of a Steve Jobs, but like that's the idea of like, hey, I want to leave my mark. Um, so like that's
Yeah.
sort of the evolution of my thought process around this business. And
You remember when that trigger was?
probably in 24.
Wow. So
Yeah.
recent. And did it have to do with the birth of your son? Because that's pretty
Yeah, I
badass.
mean, no, not really. It really dealt with seeing some ridiculous numbers in my bank account. I'm like, this is awesome and all, but it's like I'm still the same. I still am the same person. I have the same interests. I have nothing different about me. But I thought something. It's like how Rory
Yeah.
Mac. Do you watch golf at all? Okay,
Little.
Rory McIlroy won the
Got it.
Masters last year. Got his career Grand Slam. There's only
Yep.
a couple people that have ever done it. And he talks about he's like, I thought it would change and I'd be this, and he's like, no, it's like I didn't change at all. I want to go win more. Like that's how I feel. And it's,
Right.
yeah, it's like I
Hunger is
made
still
money
there.
and I was like, this actually isn't what I wanted to do. I want to create something absolutely incredible, and that's what gets me up in the morning now. It's like how can I make the most amount of impact in the people I serve in this business today? Every single day I wake up, I think about that.
And so, what part of the business gives you the most joy? Is it your own? Is it the internal employees, the drivers? Like, how do you receive that feedback? And yeah, I guess where do you receive that feedback? Like, how do you
I
know that
feel
you're making
like
that impact?
it's giving these restaurants the ability to take control of take back control of their business. And it's typically through software solutions, but it's service solutions too, like call center or delivery services. But building a novel piece of technology that lets them save over $1 million in 6 months on some fees they're getting charged from a marketplace. Like that's the stuff that gets me very excited. It's like,
Wow.
wow, I'm actually really helping this company. And so like that's the kind of
Yeah.
stuff that's like, or When a tech company uses our, hey, we want to license your driver app, sweet, and then they're able to make money by reselling it, and I see that there's actual adoption, people using the app, and it's like that's really fulfilling for me.
Yeah. I think that for me, it's similar from an entrepreneurial perspective. Like just taking an idea and then seeing people find enjoyment out of it and you make money off it. That's like the first time that has started to happen, because now I've got word of mouth happening. That's mind blowing to me. It's like, wow, like I actually thought of something that is benefiting people and
Yeah,
they're enjoying it. Like, and they're willing to
there's
pay me
like
for
no
that.
better feeling, you
That's
know.
pretty incredible. Yeah. Yeah. Wow. Um, what task do you wish you never had to do again that tech could solve, or that tech solved?
That tech has solved.
Yeah. Like what is a? I guess.
Right now,
Yeah.
what's
I'm
something
just
that's
thinking
that
like
something I absolutely hate doing is writing. I hate writing.
like
Emails,
writing
writing
like
I
emails.
absolutely hate writing anything. I just am not.
Well, thank
Now
God
that I
AI
have,
came along
now
because
that I have,
that's
it's
like the
like
best.
every single email I write, every LinkedIn post. Some people say, you can tell. I don't care if you can tell. It's like it's better than what I was going to produce anyways. But it's saying the things that I'm thinking. It's articulating it in the way I want. It's just that is
Right.
some. It's like to me, it's like the calculator back in the day. Where it's like, oh, you can just type in numbers and hit equals and something happens. It's like that's what it is writing for me now with AI. It's great.
Yeah. Aaron, I think we should just touch upon like maybe talk about the breadth of services that Deliver That has. Because I feel like, I know you as a delivery company, you have the software that what else do you provide to the
So
restaurants
right
and
now
to
we
the
have four
drivers and stuff?
solutions that we actually commercialize. We have what our delivery network, right? It's a 50,000 plus gig worker network that people can leverage for all types of deliveries. We have delivery orchestration, which is sort of if you think about it like an orchestra, it's like it's the conductor, making sure like that everything's in harmony, everything's playing, like the song is getting played correctly. Um, and I'll explain it like, you have restaurants have all these deliveries coming out of their door, all shapes and sizes, going to different customers. Maybe their mealtime, their grocery, not grocery, but their catering. You have catering that's $100. All these different delivery use cases. We give them the ability to orchestrate it for profitability and quality, or a blend of both. We also have our self delivery product that merchants and tech companies can leverage. And we also have a service called Gig Supply Plus, which is all of the equipment, supplies, whatever's necessary to actually do delivery. And we have restaurants
Wow.
that buy from us, drivers, gig workers, DSPs. We actually just, we also do packaging. So if we actually sold like 1,500 boxes this morning to a pretty large brewery in Ohio. It's actually one of the largest breweries that they're getting into catering, and they're buying
Wow.
all of their equipment from us: delivery bags, packaging, you name it.
That's
In all of
amazing.
this,
Yeah.
these four solutions, they go towards our goal of like, hey, we want to give operators, right, the ability to control their guest experience through delivery. And all four of these solutions do that. We'll be launching a few other solutions this year. Two in particular I can talk about right now. One is a driver placement product where it's like instead of going to ZipRecruiter or Indeed or some other place, it's like we already have these pre-qualified vetted delivery drivers. Some of them have history. Like if you want to employ one of them, we can match make that. And then we're building an intelligence platform right
Yeah.
now. We have a unique perspective at Deliver That, where we are the only national delivery management company that's not propped up by like a food marketplace. Like we don't serve a third party marketplace in any capacity. So we have, so we can essentially give brands the intelligence around, hey, you need to do X, Y, and Z because it's better for your business. It's not better for the marketplace. It's better for you. Um, and we've actually had a ton of interest in that.
That sounds like huge independence, and I feel like you're referencing another company that I know. And I guess that kind of leads
Yeah, it's like
into
there's a
the
bunch of companies. I
conversation.
mean, again, I don't know of any other national delivery players, whether it's service, like it's actually like the service aspect or software that is not propped up or serving a marketplace. We're the only one that I'm aware of.
Yeah. Right. So, and then who is your biggest competitors out there? Like, do you
Yeah, it's
look
like
in the,
it really depends by solution. I would say probably DoorDash though. I mean, you look at like
okay.
the orchestration product we have. These are I wouldn't call them. I mean, they're friends of ours too. Like Nash is one of them. On Fleet would be a competitor
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
technically. Yes,
Oh, yeah. Because now you're in the software world. Yeah. I mean, you're
but I
touching
mean,
upon a
our
lot of
philosophy is
competitors.
like
Yeah.
if a merchant wants to use X, Y, and Z delivery management software. Like we work with like one of our, I would say one, if you looked at just stack this up, um, just against each other, like Cartwheel is a competitor of our product. And it's like, we love Cartwheel. We're great partners with them. Um, yeah, like
No,
they're
they're great
incredible.
guys too.
And, we just want to serve the restaurant, man. And like the operator, like, I don't really care if they use a competing product or service to mine. Like I want them to win because they've gotten beaten down for too long.
Hmm. Yeah. I hear you. Um, it's interesting. So, in like first delivery, right? Is that
Yeah, the
they
software
were one
side
of
for
the competitors
sure.
of yours?
But yeah, I like Alex.
Yeah. Yeah.
Good dude. My
Yeah.
neighbor is
Yeah.
he owns a very large pizza chain in Ohio, Giuseppe's. I don't know if you've ever heard of them before. No,
No, I haven't been to Ohio yet, so I gotta.
okay, okay.
But
But yeah, they're a very famous pizza chain here in Ohio, and I mean, he's a third generation owner of it, and they use first. Yeah, they use first delivery.
oh, awesome. Yeah. Okay. Got it. Yeah. I mean, and I know first is very similar. They're trying to give power back to
Yeah,
the restaurant, which I love, versus
yeah.
having
I
it
feel like
taken away.
restaurants are the beating heart of our industry.
Um,
They are the reason hospitality exists. They're the one creating product.
right. Yep. So, how does your what does your family think about what you do now?
I don't really think they know. I don't think they understand it. If I'm being blunt, like I don't think they get what I do. I think they're just a delivery guy. It's like I'm the delivery guy.
You got money and you do deliveries. Like
they don't
that's
see like the mad scientist side of me. At least not all of them do. My dad, I talk to my dad about it all the time, and my mom too. But my sisters and brothers, like they just don't get it. I mean, they don't get it. My one brother actually works with me, so
yeah.
it's like he obviously understands, but the other one, they're kind of just like, oh, there's Aaron doing whatever he does.
Yeah. No, I love that. And it's interesting because my cousin went through Y Combinator, and we joke a lot because, like, and we come from an old Italian family. So, especially the older generations have no idea what we do. And everyone's just so skeptical of it all. Like, they're like, everyone just thinks we're surviving. So, it's very interesting to have that like disconnect from like a technology world to I guess just like regular jobs out there where people understand it.
Yeah.
Like if you were a
Oh
doctor,
yeah.
they would
Oh,
understand what
or
you
yeah,
do.
or you sell
Yeah.
machinery. It's
Yeah, exactly. It's a
like,
physical product. I still
do you
call it
ever
this.
feel like you ever tried to explain to like someone in your family like what AI is, like how it works? I've tried.
My sister is so scared of it. I can't. She can't even talk about
I
it.
I'm it's the same. My dad and oldest brother, they own daycares. Okay, it's like they were going to pay
Oh
someone
wow.
a ridiculous amount of
Yeah.
money to build them a website, and I literally showed them like, dude, you could just prompt an AI right now to do it in 10 minutes. They just didn't believe it.
Oh
And I sit
wow.
down with them and just did it, and they're like, "What the heck?" And I was like, "Yeah, it's like you're gonna pay that much for a website, you can do it in seconds." Yeah,
Yeah. Here's $100 a
exactly.
month. You can
And
do this.
so I think people, like I constantly tell them like, you guys have to like, it's like the internet coming out again. Like you learn how to use the internet. It's like just
Absolutely.
get
Yeah.
curious. See what it can do. Try to learn it a little bit.
Yes.
Mhm.
And it will teach you itself. I
Exactly.
mean,
Yeah.
you just ask it. And it will. You can have a conversation with it, and it will tell you everything. I
Yep.
mean, that's the beauty of it. It's amazing. Um, so, Aaron, more on the personal side. So, how do you reset after like a bad week or something, some challenge that you've gone through? and refocus?
I try to golf, a few times a week. So it's one of my ways that I can get my stress relieved. Um, I'm going to work out here after this podcast. That's another thing I do. I run, lift weights. Um, I also like craft beer quite a bit. So like,
It's
so
very
I will
good
drink,
distressor.
you know, the quadruple IP, no, the whatever the IPAs or craft beers. That's like my drink of choice that I'll have typically. Either I'm not. It's not just for a bad week, um, but like just in general, just to decompress. And then I read. I do a lot of reading, a lot of listening to podcasts. Like
Yeah,
I said, the podcast
that's
I'm
good.
into right now, I think it's called Let me just look. I think American Alchemy, not American Alchemist. It is. I don't know if you're a big podcast guy, um, like, like
I'm getting
space
into it
stuff.
more.
But yeah, American Alchemy with Jesse Michaels is the best podcast out right now. It kind of like a
I'll check it
UFO
out.
UAP nut a little bit. So it's like it talks a lot about like
Okay,
you know extraterrestrials and like space and like but like there's a lot
possibilities.
of
Yeah.
physicists that go on there and talk. And that stuff's fascinating to me. Like hopefully whenever we exit this business, like I'm gonna go back to school and like take physics classes or something because it's like really interesting.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah. I and kind of to go off on a tangent here. One of the interesting things coming out from the tech leaders out there, especially in the AI space, is this idea of giving back to the US. Like the only way, as this gap between the rich and the poor keeps growing, and these AI companies are just creating billionaires like instantly, this idea that all of a sudden the US would give back and start to, or these companies would start giving back to the US people to create more of an equality. Do you have any thoughts on that? Because it's just something that is like mind blowing to me, and especially in our capitalistic, individualistic world, like how that could actually come
Yeah,
about.
you're talking to a guy that's actually lived, not lived, thought about. I've actually thought about this, and I've had many discussions with people that I value their opinion on this exact topic. And what I will tell you this, I,
Oh,
that's a
great! So
great
I
question.
asked the right person.
I would have started out by saying it's capitalism. It is what it is. Like go go compete. Build
Yeah,
a product. Learn. Just go. It's a free market. You have every bit. To compete. And then I started actually using and like developing software and like learning about AI. And it's like I there's such a small amount of people that influence this. It's in the hundreds that actually influence these
mm,
LLMs. That it there has to be some level of basic universal income or equality that comes from this. Some sort of AI tax or I don't know. Like do you follow Elon Musk at all?
I mean, I
Like he
listened
talks
to
about
some of the stuff
he
coming out.
talked about this a
I
little
mean,
bit.
it's
How it's like humans will have like the option to work with what's going on with AI, and I'm actually kind of buying into it. Where it's like
I'm watching the robots coming out. I mean,
in like
it's just
even I
mind blowing.
mean
Like,
we would never do this because this is not the type of ownership group we are. We could operate our business right now and grow it with probably half the staff. Like we don't need
right,
if you have these AIs that are fully integrated in SDLCs and they can develop software, you just got to give it an idea. Like, why do I need engineers? So it's like it's just evolving the thought
right.
process of like what an engineer actually is, or like what a call center person's doing, or a controller or a salesperson. But I do think there has to be some level of like a tax. There has to be.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, you look at Lovable, right? Like, I mean, they're approaching what a I don't think they're close to $1 trillion valuation, but they're up there in the hundreds of millions, right? And the team is only 100 people, so it's like if you just take the 100 people or take the amount they're making, divide it by 100 people, it's like all of them are
yeah,
instantly rich, and it just seems like too much money for a small
yeah. It's like you're going to see
in my mind.
this shift of like trying to I guess create. money won't be the most valuable asset. It'll really be time. And I feel like humans are going to start chasing and exploring more and venturing off, to the moon, to Mars, and like we're going to be way more of like
Hmm.
the explorer type, society again.
The Star Trek. That's. I mean, I was talking to my friend about that. It's like, where is there an ideal world where money has now been removed, and like, is there something in science fiction that reflects where we could possibly be going? And I think that's probably the best example. It's like everybody's working. If you're working, it's for the
Yeah, and
benefit
it
of
should be.
humanity.
It should be that way. I mean,
So,
it shouldn't be. There's
right.
no reason why. I mean, you and I put our pants on the same way. It's like there's no like our lives are worth the same, and it's like people have this. And it's just because of
Right.
the natural, instinctual things of humans, like power. I don't know what the all of the traits are, but it's like power, greed, lust, whatever. It's like we will
Hmm.
evolve past that at some point. I just don't know when. I think AI is like the tipping point though, where it's like you won't have to just work for money. You know,
I love it. I love the positivity. Like that's. I mean, that's the benefit coming out of it. When there's so many people who are pessimistic about it, like that, you have to look at the long run. So, Aaron, I'm going to close it out with one last question. What's the strangest or most difficult challenge that you've gone through as an entrepreneur, as a founder, as a business owner, in this like decade that you've been doing this?
there's a couple that come to mind, but I'd say the biggest was um, watching $1 billion company try and literally take us down, and we beat them. Go out of
Wow. Can you say more about that, or
I'm
you're
not
not
going
allowed to?
to, but that was probably the most difficult thing. We had a major customer concentration, and that customer tried to control us in a way where we couldn't operate our business the way we needed to. And we made
Wow.
some very strategic moves the last few years to get out under their thumb, and we are better off now than we ever have been. And that is probably
Okay, so it was almost like you
oh,
fired a
we
customer
fired them.
in that way.
We fired a customer,
Yeah.
absolutely. And when you treat someone like a
Wow.
slave for so long, like the master servant relationship, eventually it's not gonna pan out. So, um, but the delivery companies you guys that you probably are thinking of right now, they love being under that thumb. So
Yeah, I gotcha. Well, I'm happy you worked that out and you beat them. That's amazing. Well, Aaron, I want to say thank you so much. I mean, this has been great conversations. I love it. Love your journey. Love everything you've talked about, and I'm excited for anybody listening that they can benefit from this. Um, and obviously, I know you're on LinkedIn, so people can reach out to you there. But yeah, thank you very much,
thanks,
and
man. Really
good
appreciate
luck with the
it.
business.
This is awesome. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks.